Hey everybody, it's Ricki Heller from rickiheller.com. Sorry if you saw that previous video. We somehow got cut off. I don't know what was going on there. But today I wanted to pop on and talk about what happens when you're diagnosed with Candida and you're first starting an anti-Candida diet. And so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ricki from rickiheller.com. I'm a holistic nutritionist and I am a food coach. And I help people on restricted diets learn to love their food again and live their lives with joy. So some of you might know that when I was first diagnosed with Candida, and this was quite a number of years ago now, so I've been living on this program for about 20 years, I was a professional baker. I was working as a professional baker. And suddenly I was told that, hey Merle, suddenly I was told that I had to give up gluten, sugar, eggs, dairy, like all the things I was using in my baking. And so that was quite a bit of a shock. And I know that people feel very similar when they're first told they have to go on an anti-Candida diet because it seems like you have to give up so many of your favorite foods. But to me, this was just a horrific thought. And so I calmed myself down and I said, you know what? I'm a baker. I can figure this out. So I went ahead and I just took one of my regular recipes and I converted it to gluten-free. I just swapped out the flour for gluten-free. And let me tell you, that was a really nice doorstop. It was hard as a brick and yet at the same time crumbly. So huge flop and it can feel discouraging. So I experimented over time and I did come up eventually with the kinds of recipes that I make now where people can't even tell the difference between an anti-Candida diet recipe and a regular recipe. And so I want you to know that that can really happen. But what made the difference for me, and I hope this little shift can be useful for some of you, is at the time I was still also working as a college professor. And many of my students came here to Canada from other countries and didn't speak the language when they arrived in Canada. And I started to notice this pattern, or at least it seemed like a pattern to me, that the people who clung to their previous culture and country and customs to the exclusion of everything else. So they were not interested in assimilating and becoming part of Canadian culture. They just focused entirely on what they had left behind. Those were the people who remained sad and lonely when they moved here. But the students who basically embraced living in Canada and everything that brought with it. So they said, okay, this is a new language. I'm going to need to learn a new language. Okay, I'm going to have to live in winter, right? I'm going to have to learn to say A, those kinds of things. Those are the people who flourished and they ended up doing the best in all realms of their life. And so I started to think of it along those terms, that really learning to cook and bake this way is just like learning a new language. It's like moving to another country and having to adapt to the new customs and the weather and the clothing and all those things that go along with it. And so I'm not going to pretend that that was easy. It did take time and it did take effort. But what I can tell you is that once you make that leap in your head, once you have that acceptance that I will be learning something new and I am now living here and this is where I'm going to make my home, I'm going to set down my roots and I'm going to learn the language I need to learn. This is the new food language I need to learn. Well, that's when you can really thrive on your anti-Candida diet program. You can learn to love your food again and you can find the ways that you can still really find joy and delicious taste in all that food. And it's so much more than the food, right? You begin to see that there are all those areas of your life that you can still enjoy that you maybe thought you couldn't before. So I hope that's helpful for you. A little bit of a shift in the way we look at it that can allow you to embrace and love that food again. I would love to help you make that first step in that direction. So if you are interested in seeing what kinds of delicious foods you can have on this diet, I do have a free ebook. It's called the Top 10 Anti-Candida Diet Stage 1 Recipe. So this is actually good for anybody at any stage of an anti-Candida diet program. These are easy recipes to make, all for stage 1. If you just go to, let me just check what the URL is here. It's rickiheller.com/quick easy recipes. So quick easy recipes is all one word, and you can have that cookbook for free and get a taste of what it's like to live well on an anti-candida diet. So I hope that's useful. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Leave me a comment below, give this page a like, and I'm going to continue talking about this topic in the weeks to come. So I hope you like the page and come on back and hear some more. Thanks everybody. Have a great day.